Hey, what's up, everybody? Kohaku for today. A nice, quick, basic guide. So, Kohaku. She's the maid. Funny maid. 5A, you mash it because it's good. You want them to stop pressuring you? Her 5A hits most crouches in the game, so use 5A. 5B. Are people jumping at you and you don't like using 3C for some reason? Use 5B. It goes pretty far, and if they block it, you can just go back into your A normal if you haven't used it yet. It catches jumps. Please believe me, it catches jumps. Then you also have 5C. 5C is not what it used to have. Bleh. Kohaku's 5C is not what it was from current code. If you remember current code, you can do 5C like 2A like that pretty consistently, but in this game you actually cannot wait that long to get a proper confirm off 5C. So instead of doing 5CC in current code, now it's just it does everything as one big part. However, if the first part whiffs, the second part still comes out. So that's the first part, that's the second part. The part where she like twirls her broom. It hits people who are airborne because you cannot block ground and normals in the air. So if you think people are just trying to avoid this, your 5B, you will do something like 5A, 5C. So that way the second part of 5C will catch them thinking that you whiffed the normal. You whiff this, you immediately do 5C, they get hit, you profit. 3C. The normal that you use when you're like, I want them to stop jumping because for whatever reason, there is a hitbox viewer where her 3C hits somewhere directly behind her. I will point that out somewhere here. But yeah, really good, really fast, moves her a little bit forward, but people who like flying you, use 3C. 2A, it's Melted Blood, Mastery 2A. 2B, hits twice, automatically hits twice. It did not used to do that before. Well, before in terms of the previous game, in terms of current code. But in Type Lumina, her 2B hits twice. Have to block both hits though. Really, really good for trying to poke people out, as you can see. If the first part doesn't hit at most ranges, the second part normally will, which is good at catching people off guard for trying to jump. Because, if you jump, you can't block when you're trying to jump. 2C, look at this thing. It's nuts. It goes pretty far. Even though it doesn't hit round start, you could do something like small dash forward 2C. So you can do ready fight. Well, you can do ready fight. Bam. And you get a combo because you do 2C 2A, and then you go back and apply pressure. You have 6C. 6C is combo fodder for the most part, but it's also really strong at just trying to dissuade people from jumping. So if you're like, okay, they're gonna jump, she moves pretty far forward. It's actually a pretty big hitbox. Think of it like reverse Hisui 6C. You know how Hisui 6C goes like upwards at a pretty nice angle? This goes downwards at a really nice angle. So this is good for people who are trying to jump at that angle from there. So stay down. Okay, then you have a jump A. Standard air to air button. If the opponent is at the same height as you in the air, it's really good for poking them out. But if they're on the ground like that, you can just air dash, and you get a really fast overhead. Which I know most UC Kohaku players do. And this is pretty hard to block consistently. She's just air dashing at you. Then you have Jump B. This is still really good in this version of this game, even though current code probably had the best version of most of her normals. Jump B is really good at hitting at this weird, it goes from this 35 to 45 to almost 90-degree angle simultaneously. So if you know people like to air dash at that angle, you just swat them away and be defensive, like stay away, get away from me. If you hear fatal, you dash up and you get it confirmed. Then you have Jump C. Look at this thing. You can actually time it so that it hits where they have to stand up. Because in this game, rising normals are not overheads. However, I guess Pirate Seal is good enough to not worry about it. But as you can see, it's pretty disjointed, because if you've ever played a Kohaku player, you've had this happen to you before. Because of how high she is in the air. And because of how high it hits, she can just fly in and either get 1 overhead, 2 overheads with Jump B, or 3 with Jump A. So you can do 4, 4, 4, or just do. Obviously, I've left out the options of doing low right after because they're expecting the extra overhead. See? Or if you just straight up overshoot and they're not ready, you can just fly over there and then throw them on the other side or try to 2A them. Okay, next thing. 236. 236A. This is like combo fodder slash a good way to keep people at a certain range after your block string is over. So most block strings in this game, you use a special move at the end to like reclaim space or to end your pressure safely. So you do something like this. And now you're at like her best range to do 2C or super jump C. One of those two. But 236A, aka Bato. I know y'all weebs out there, so you're like, this is cool. I also watched Rurouni Kenshin when I was a lad. But yes, this is a tool that you could use to poke people out that 2C doesn't reach for the most part. She has a feint if you hold the A button, so if you're doing pressure in the corner, you can do and throw somebody. Now, the B version. Anti-air. Really strong at swatting people at that angle that you see right there. Something like I use 45 degrees because most people should know what a 45 upward degree angle is or downward angle is resembled. So, if they try to jump in the air and try to fly at you, this fatals them, you get a big combo. However, you want to be really cool, you charge this and it's even bigger. If you see where this hits, it hits way past the life bar, as opposed to the normal version that hits like just at the life bar. So, normal version, at the life bar. Charge version, past the life bar. So it's really strong versus characters who are trying to hover at that space to see you whiff something, like you'll whiff a 5B and they'll try to fly at you, then you do this. So it's like, oh, I'm waiting for you to jump. I'm going to do 2B. Snipe. There you go. And then 236C, that's just your combo ended to knockdown for some of the best. I don't know if I can say some of the best Oki, but it's really strong. It's good pressure. Speaking of good pressure, this is one part of her pressure, her 2-2-A. She has a plant that flies at that same angle that B Bato hits, but it's way faster. You used to be able to hold this, but not anymore because it's more of a combo tool slash anti-air denying approach tool. Then you have 2-2B. This move. I know you've all seen this before. Essentially, the way this works is it hits a bunch of times really fast, and it gives you anywhere between 1 to 3 mix-ups, depending on how nice you are at this character. So normally when you get a throw, you'll do plant, but getting that type of setup is kind of tough because you have to learn how to dash, set this out, and not get hit on wake up. Because if you do this too early, what happens is they get pushed out. What you want to do is after throw or after a sweep, you want to learn how to do sweep and then get your plant to come out. So sometimes if you get a raw sweep to hit, you'll do sweep 2A dash up, plant. That's what you'll do. Otherwise, after this, you'll dash up, wait a little bit, and then do this. And you just do air dash pressure, you bait shield throw, you try to fly over the head to go left or right. See? Dash a plant. See? And then you have 2-2C, aka Johnny. It's not as good as it was before, but it's still strong because it's a projectile shooting type move where if they don't shield the first hit and they're too close, you just get this series of they get pushed and they have to guess between her jumping over them like this. So usually if this comes out, you can go and you create more mixes for yourself, but it's only if you're really confident in knowing that you'll secure the mix-up with meter. Whereas most times when you want to use meter, you'll be using 236C into 2-2B into, look at me, I'm good at this game. Next, you have your 214, aka, I forget what it's called, Magical Amber? So, 214A, she has invincibility. It doesn't hit anything if you don't press another button. So if you just press 236A, if you just press 214A, she flies forward, it has invincibility. It actually flies through a lot of things in the game that would normally hit most characters. But she has this move. It just flies around. She's cute. And you can also control its direction by pressing another button. So if you want to do something like, oh, I want to fly in a different direction, you hold back and you press a button to get the cocktails to come out, the Molotov cocktails. So you press 2 and 4, and then you press back and A, B, or C. So you press B or C, you'll get cocktails, Molotov cocktails. But if you press A again, she'll fly the other direction and still be invincible. So this is a good, using this as a tactic to bait people to do wake up heat. So if you know someone's doing wake up heat, it'll actually go through it, you land and you can punish them. Same thing with 2 and 4B. Invincibility, but not instantly. It takes a while for her to get into the air to get the invincibility. So if you just press B or C while you're flying through, you'll have invincibility as you drop the Molotov. See? It's also plus on block. Because there's a falling part and there's the exploding part. So even though this looks really slow, it's actually really good if you can get the cocktail to hit at a certain timing and keep your turn. 2 and 4C is actually a decent reversal on wake up most times because it has immediate invincibility, meaning if they try to throw you, they get hit by the Molotovs. There's a lot of instances where DPs don't hit her because she flies so far forward, and also if you do not know how to punish this precisely, she just gets away for free and gets her turn back because that Molotov, that last Molotov going off is still plus if she lands in time to keep her turn. So I'll show an example. There you go. You got your turn back. And then you can also do these in the air. So while you're in the air, same inputs. Oops. However, you don't get to decide when to press the button because it happens automatically when you're done in the air. So 2 and 4A or B in the air, you immediately drop the cocktail. 2 and 4C in the air has invincibility and drops the cocktails anyway, and you're still plus. Phew. You do have your moon skills, which are 6 BC. The other Kohaku move that they say they're nice when they do it. You have 2 BC, which is the old cactus that you saw in current code. Summoning it is an overhead, so if you're trying to throw out someone's low shield timing, if they'd like to do wake up low shield, you can actually use this to crush that, because the first part's an overhead they have to block. So since cactus is an overhead, if they low shield, they get hit by this and sent into the corner. And also 4 BC. So essentially this is your on wake up, do 4 BC to get out of pressure, clash with stuff, and cause mess. And then you have your arc drive. Excuse me, you have your arc drive. This is like a combo fodder tool because it also has a little bit of invincibility, but you can also charge it to become fully unblockable. And when it's fully unblockable, it turns into this hit that if they're just sitting there just trying to down back it, they will get tagged. So they have to respond correctly. Usually it's just by jumping, and if you jump over it in time, she bounces off the wall. You don't even have to do anything special, you just dash up and hit her while she's recovering. I'm probably missing something here, which will once again be put in the description if it is, and if you're paying attention in the comments, you can tell me. It'd be helpful. Otherwise, that is it. I will do my best to try to get more of these out in a timely manner since Evo is coming up. But for everybody who is enjoying these, I will try to put out more, and thank you for supporting me. So once again, take it easy. Peace. Bye.